I want to start with a quote. Yes, the past can hurt, but the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it. That line always stayed with me because of how simple and honest it is. Today, I want to talk about past mistakes and feelings of inadequacy and how so often those feelings do not begin in adulthood. They begin in childhood. Growing up in poverty. Growing up in unstable environments. Growing up with abuse. Growing up feeling overlooked. Feeling like you were never the favorite child. Feeling like love had to be earned. Those experiences do not just disappear because we get older. They bleed into adulthood. They bleed into careers. They bleed into relationships. And they even bleed into how we parent our own children. Sometimes it shows up as overworking just to feel worthy. Sometimes it looks like being unable to rest without guilt. Sometimes it shows up as being harder on yourself or your children than you want to be. If you do not consciously look at these patterns, they quietly run the show. And this does not mean your parents failed. It does not mean you failed. It means you adapted the best way you knew how at the time. This is not a deep dive into shadow work. There will be other videos where I go deeper. But I wanted to touch on this because it matters more than we realize. You would be surprised how many children grow up never hearing that they are loved, and how many adults still carry that absence quietly. We live in a system that teaches us to function first, perform, produce, prove value. Then maybe you are cared for. But that is not how life actually works. Life itself runs on love, not transactional love, not love that requires you to earn it, not love that only shows up when you perform. Real love exists without conditions. And I know that can be hard to accept, especially if your early experiences taught you otherwise. But you are loved, not because of what you do, not because of what you provide, not because of what you achieve, simply because you exist. A lot of life cannot be understood while you are in it. When you are too close, everything feels messy, confusing, and unfair. But when you look back, you often see how things aligned, how the right solution appeared, how clarity came later, not in the moment. I think that is one of the gifts of spending time alone. And if 2020 taught us anything, it is this. When the noise stopped, many of us were forced to sit with ourselves, to reflect, to ask deeper questions we had been avoiding by staying busy. For some, that time was incredibly painful. For others, it became a turning point. And sometimes, that stillness is where awareness begins. And awareness is where change starts. There is a simple practice I will leave you with. You do not have to do this now, or ever. Take only what feels right. One day, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. Nothing else. At first, this might feel very uncomfortable. That is normal. But with time, it gets easier. This channel is for people learning how to live awake without opting out of real life, not escaping it, not numbing it, not rushing through it. If this resonated with you, feel free to like the video and subscribe. New reflections are shared regularly. Thank you for being here.